Chapter number 3, fiber to fabric. Before actually beginning that, let me ask you some simple questions. To the specific kid only I'll be asking, and that particular child only will be answering me. Can Kanishk tell me the names of any animal fiber? Animal fiber, that means the fiber that we obtain from an animal. Any fiber. I don't think Kanishk has the answer with him, so let me move to Azram. Can Azram name any animal fiber? Let me make the language of the question simple. Yeah? Utkarsh has answered. Yeah, Utkarsh, go ahead.
Silk.
Silk. And of course, wool. Yeah, kids are answering that. That is true. We are going to read about these two fibers only in this chapter, wool and silk. Now the next question. Next question from my side to you people is, we have heard a lot about people wearing wool. Fleece, I'll be explaining you what is the meaning of the term fleece. But before that, Utkarsh, let me explain you please first. The question that I want to ask you is that we have seen many people wearing sweaters. Those sweaters that we wear in winters, they are either made up of artificial wool, mostly they are from artificial wool, that is actually acrylic. But some of the woolen fibers, some of the woolen fabrics that we have at our home, maybe some shawls that your mother belongs, you must have heard her telling that this is pashmina. Pashmina shawl. Have you ever heard of this term, pashmina?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. My question to the kids is, from which animal do we obtain this pashmina wool?
Pashmina goat.
Kumud, keep your camera on, please. I would really like to appreciate you. Very good answer. Very good answer, Kumud. Generally, people are in the impression that pashmina shawls or pashmina wool is obtained from a sheep. That's totally wrong. Okay, this is actually obtained from a goat found in that region only. And if you compare the goat that is found in Rajasthan with that of that mountain goat, you will see that the hair, that's what we are going to come down to that fleece word also. The thick hair it has, those thick hair will not be present or available on the goat that is available in Rajasthan. So that's the difference. According to the habitat, the animal will have either fur or hair on their body. They are surviving in a cold region. They do have this thick, dense hair. And from this pashmina goat, we obtain this pashmina wool. Now, some of the kids, I feel that they are not answering Nitya. Nitya is going to give me answer of one very simple question. You are supposed to name an animal from which we obtain wool. We obtain wool from. Keep your microphone on and answer me, Nitya. I want to hear your voice. Can't hear you, Nitya. You type it out. You type out or send. You have to unmute yourself. Nitya, type the answer, bacha. Yes. The answer may be, of course, sheep. Llama, of course. So these are the answers that we can have. Yes, of course. And let's move ahead directly to the textbook. And there, yeah, alpaca, yak. We can see these animals. See, page number, first page of the chapter, the diagram number 3.1, sheep they had indicated. Moving ahead on page number 25, we have Angora goat and of course a simple goat, that is basically a goat only. Then camel, yak, alpaca, llama. These words are a bit new to us, llama and alpaca, but of course we know about yak, camel, goat and sheep. So if at all it comes in your examination to write down about the names of the animals from whom we obtain wool, these names will be there. All right. Now moving ahead to page number 26. Here there is this table they had given. Table 3.1. That is very important as per the examination point of view. From here comes the second question. The first question, as I told you a moment ago, I am going to give you an assignment. That is, we are supposed to name the animals from whom we obtain wool. And those animals, basically 4 names at least you should be in a position to write down. That is sheep, goat, yak, camel, llama, any of the names out of these, any 4. Now here if you see, name of the breed and quality of wool and the place where they are found. So in our Rajasthan, we have these 2 varieties, that is Lohi and Nali. These breeds of sheep are found in our region. This Lohi is giving us very good quality wool, whereas this Rampur Busher, it gives almost brown colored fleece. That is found in Uttar Pradesh and Himachal Pradesh. Then Nali is actually that wool from it is used for carpet, and it is found, this particular sheep is found in Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab. Bakharwal, a very fine quality wool is obtained from this animal, from this particular breed of sheep, and that is used for weaving shawls. It's actually found in Jammu and Kashmir region only. Wherein in Gujarat region we have 2 varieties, Marwadi and Patanwadi. Marwadi wool of course will be a little bit coarse, that means rough in texture, it's not that smooth. And Patanwadi is used for hosiery items, that means making for some small simple clothes. This particular table also I am going to give you today in assignment to draw in your fair notebooks. Please make sure that the assignments allotted to you are being done on the very same day. Now let's understand from fibers to wool, how wool is basically obtained. First step is that yes, rearing and breeding of the sheep. Rearing and breeding of the sheep means we are taking care of them, helping them to grow, reproduce, taking care of their feed, their water, their shelter, their medicines. That's what we actually mean by this heading, rearing and breeding of the sheep, taking care of them. And after it's been done, that this all heading will fall into the heading of animal husbandry. That means there are certain animals which we are basically taking care, and we are rearing them, breeding them, keeping them with us, and they give us some products that are essential for us. It may be at individual level, that means some people may be keeping at home, or it may be for commercial level. That means they may be keeping in more number and they are doing business out of it. Both the ways we are supposed to take care of the animal if we want best output from these animals. Now, basically about their food. Of course, These animals, they will be feeding on cud, they'll be feeding on grass, but yes, along with that, some healthy food should also be given to them. That may include, as one word that we had mentioned over there, pulses, corn, jowar, oil cakes. What are these oil cakes? Oil cakes are, in Hindi, I would suggest you once this lockdown is over, we may move out to any of the shops outside wherein they are selling the fodder for these cattle. Not exactly the green fodder I'm talking about. In any of the shops here, for example, down market, any shop you go, or maybe at this shop at Paraswala, if you go and ask, they will show you the feed of the cattle. That includes roughage. Roughage is one, that means that will be including some small strips of waste from husk. The chara or the fodder of the animal includes two parts, roughage and concentrate. Roughage will provide them with fiber and cellulose, that means for energy, and that will include husk. That means the waste from the crop. Nowadays, we see n number of trucks and tractors overloaded with husk moving on this main highway roads. At times, they block the roads also. Those big trucks I'm talking about, in those trucks, basically husk is filled. That is the waste from the agricultural land. That is used for animal fodder. Because green fodder is not available throughout the year. So that is one part of the feed we are supposed to provide them. The second part of the feed includes these oil cakes or pulses, because that is going to add. Like we need in our diet carbohydrate, fats and proteins. These animals also need the diet. So carbohydrates they are getting from this feed. Proteins and fats they are obtaining from oil cakes, pulses, jowar, etc. Now, how these oil cakes are obtained? This in turn is a waste from oil industry beta. For example, we have so many groundnut with us, and it's like a flat plate with many holes in it. A very hot press, a very flat hot press presses down the groundnuts, and the oil from the groundnut is squeezed down. That groundnut oil is processed and we eat. We take it in food. But once it has been pressed harder from the top beta, all these groundnut pieces, small seeds, they will join together. They will melt and join and form almost like a flat black plate. That is known as oil cakes. Here, if you go and ask on any of the shops to show you, these oil cakes are given the name of bata. That's isko bata bolte beta Hindi mein. Bhusi khal. ये भी वर्ड्स हैं इसके लिए हिंदी में. So you may go and have a practical look at it. These are the feeding items we are supposed to provide to the animals. One of the child had a doubt here. Somebody was asking a doubt here. I could hear that voice when I was explaining. Any doubt, beta? Till here? Any doubt, bache? Let's move ahead now. So here we have, this is what we are supposed to take care of their feed. Then there is one more term we use, that is heeding. Heeding is taking care of them. During winters, of course, we are going to keep them inside the shelters. We are going to protect them during rainy season also. Summers, we are supposed to take care that they are not in most of the time they are not in hot sun. So shades are provided with them. Taking care of their shelter, their food or their feed, and of course their medication or the medicines. That's what this taking care of the animals is all about. And therefore, definitely we are going to have high quality products. High quality products means high quality wool, lot of wool that we need, that we are going to obtain from it. So basically from the feed of the sheep or goat, whoever we are rearing for wool, that will include roughage and concentrates. The roughage will include husk or fodder, grass, and concentrates will include oil, cakes, pulses, oil seeds. Even those like cotton seeds and all, these animals are fed with that also. Directly the oil seeds are also provided to them. And one term we have here, that is, they are using one term. These sheep are selectively bred. Selectively bred. I'm underlining these lines in the book. Certain breeds of the sheep have thick coat of hair on their body, which yields good quality wool. As from here we are supposed to focus now. As mentioned earlier, these lines we are supposed to focus right now on. These sheep are selectively bred with one parent being a sheep of good breed. Selectively bred. Let's understand the meaning of this term. The meaning of this term is that if we want, say for example, more amount of wool in a particular animal, then one of the parents, either the male or the female, will definitely be having this quality in them. In simpler words, beta, the product that we want in next generation, we try to keep those animals near to one another, male and female. One of them will have a higher quality. Maybe of obtaining wool, maybe of obtaining milk. That means, out of, say for example, if we are talking about high production of milk, say for example, then out of cow or bull, one will have a higher milk yielding capacity. That means it can produce more and more of milk. That genes are there in it. Once such breed is crossing, once such father or the bull is crossing with a cow, for example, Indian cow and Australian bull, or maybe the Australian cow and Indian bull, the product, the next generation will have the character of both the parents. Like we have the character of both the parents, they will also have. So automatically, more production of wool, that character, that quality, those genes, they go to the next generation. And this next generation will definitely is going to give us more and more of wool. Okay? And these lines, of course, selectively bred means, as the line itself indicates, it is the crossbreeding crossbreeding one of the parent yield word, if you cannot keep in mind, this is specifically we are talking about higher production. That high production may be of the production of wool we are talking about, or the texture of the wool we are talking about, the quality of the wool. Now, the sheep has been taken care of all the way along. We have taken care of the sheep. Now the sheep is growing up. We have fed the sheep properly. And now the sheep has started developing hair on its body. We allow the growth of the hair for a long time. Once it is grown, then we take the animal to the place wherein the hair is shaved off. The hair is removed. And there begins the process of forming wool from the hair that we have obtained from the animal. This part of making wool from fiber, I am going to deal in my next lecture on Monday. Today we are supposed to understand only up to here. Give your attendance on Google Classroom, please. Give your attendance on Google Classroom, please, so that I will note it down from there. Happy learning, kids. Stay safe.